Welcome. We have a ECB rate rise on Thursday and a probable Fed rate rise in the US next week on the 27th. Going to keep this nice and short as it's so hot. Let's look at the dollar. So the dollar has come off, which has enabled the US indices to pick up. But if this closes down here, if this can come off and stay down on these levels, then I think it gives some reprieve for continuation in this move in the US markets. Otherwise, if this breaks the high, then this is going to crush the markets. There was speculation of a full 100 basis point rate rise next week in the Fed. That's possible. Who knows? If we get that kind of surprise, because most people are anticipating a 75 basis point rise next week, we get any kind of surprise, this dollar could really just continue higher and really cap the potential for these markets to do anything. Obviously, very bearish year so far. I've been very short-termism since the autumn anyway. Swing trading rather than investing. So let's just dig into the markets. Nasdaq. These are weekly, by the way, weekly charts. So you can see we're completely sideways. We're treading water, just waiting for the Fed to do something, to make their decision, or to get to the Fed decision day. You can see this is a crucial level here. So I am anticipating a move back to this 1287, but flat last week. Volumes okay, not brilliant. It's proving to be like trading in treacle at the moment. Cutting across to the FTSE. FTSE is sitting up reasonably well. So we've had this V-shaped drop. Another wave pattern into this support. So this is, we're again treading water. If we close under 7,000, then obviously we are potentially going to come down to 600-700 of these lows here. So we could roll over. In the meantime, we are just flat and range bound. All the time we're holding up here, and these dips get bought, we could go back to the highs, or at least back higher, 7,500. What do I think is going to happen? I think we will get higher back into this area here, but if we knock into this trend line and fail, then I think we can at the very least tumble back to these lows, these recent lows, and lower. So I am looking for a short-term bounce. Not of any major significance, only into resistance. DAX. DAX is a much deeper retracement than the euro. This is much closer to what's happening in the US. So at the moment, with these bottoming tails on this chart and the 12,500 holding, again, we've actually got a gap up there at 13,750. So I think we can work our way back into this June resistance at least, possibly higher, at which point I think this market will potentially really roll over. So assuming we can get to, this is a double bottom that's put in place, and we can close above this area here, then look for this to roll over at a higher level. So that's the indices and the dollar index. Let's have a quick look at the pound. I don't often look at currencies. The pound is, as you'd expect with a dollar index like that, it is trying to hold here. And the euro, obviously ECB on Thursday. Eurozone is the last part of the northern hemisphere to increase rates. So this is long overdue, some kind of bounce, but overall I think this will just continue lower, potentially even stay under parity, potentially. Right, oil. Oil has been coming off as what, checking in lower on the weekly chart for 5-6 weeks. So I'm looking for 85, maybe more, maybe 77.50 on the oil. May get a short-term bounce up here, pullback, but yeah, I'm selling into these highs at the moment. My anticipation that coming down to 85. Strength of the dollar is against that. So let's see. The gold is still looking lower in this weekly chart. I think it's very useful just looking at these weekly charts. Looks to me as if we could come and see that August 2021 low, 1666. At the moment, that looks on the cards. The volume, the chart pattern, the lower closes. The gold is just not doing it. I am in silver at the moment. Let's look at silver. So the same can be said exactly of silver. If you look at this support, so I bought the lows in silver last week. If we can close above this 1870, we've got highs of 30 up there. Get a higher close, particularly obviously above the 20 mark, then I think we can get a retracement on that one. Could it rally? Yes, but I think given the state of the markets, I think we will only limp into 25 at best at the moment. Although I would certainly trade that and see if I can get higher. Right, and so let's look at a couple more commodities before I carry on. If you've missed the start, don't worry. I'll give everybody the recording link so you can look back at this. I'm very bullish these grains. I think the wheat, at least I'm hoping the wheat has bottomed out, and I think the wheat can get back to those highs and more. I think this is a very useful pullback. We've basically boomeranged. We've done a boomerang. We've shot up, pulled right back to the breakup area. So I am buying these dips and holding on to wheat to see if that can. I think that could get back to 15 plus. So I am buying these dips. Natural gas has pulled back into a support zone. Looks higher. Typically this time of year it would get bought anyway in a normal cycle. So any pullbacks to 55, 56 are to be bought. That looks as if we could get up to this 12 potentially. That's going to be a very nasty experience if that turns out. And let's have a look at high-grade copper. So it had a rough time. It's gone under that 33 support. So if we can close up here, I think we can get a bounce into this resistance. But that's the jury's out. The dollar is staying high unless we start closing above 35 plus. That could come lower. I mean, traditionally, copper is linked to the housing market, and I'm looking for the housing market to come off. And things like orange juice, I think all these, well, I still classify this as a soft, i.e. grains and food produce. I think this orange juice looks lower, but it looks as if that could come into support. Coffee. That's already picking up. What else do I want to look at? Need to get some more commodities listed on here. Well, let's move on anyway. I don't want to hang around, so let's look on. I'm going to start to run through the UK stocks, and then we'll come on to some US. And let's look at Shoe Zone. Bricks and mortar retail, still looking to short this, still holding out for 180. If I can get short of 180, I'm going to stop above this pink zone and look for it to come and at least come and close that gap. So we have a hugely bearish market, V-shaped pickup, and I'm looking to sell into this pink zone, or at least into 180, to see if I can at least get a gap fill. I think it could potentially come a lot lower. Card Factory, shorted this a few times recently. I'm out of this at the moment. Lovely bear raiding strategy. What's the bear raiding strategy? Bear raiding strategy is where you find a weak sector, you find a failure pattern, and you basically raid any rallies. Pretty simple stuff. So this broke down on the 5th of October 15, retraced into 2017, and the high has been shorting ever since. So I was shorting up here at 166, 167, been shorting again up here, but looking for this, hoping this is going to retrace higher and give me a chance to get in. Let's look at the bigger retailers, the bellwethers. Sainsbury's attempting to pick up. Is it buyable? Not in my book, no. Could it move higher? Yes, 247 plus. But that is really struggling. Just shows you what we're up against. Tesco, much better, but you know what? The fact it's sitting high, it's almost more vulnerable in my book. Because if that knocks into that resistance up there at 270 and doesn't hold, then I think we could, on the right day, on the right month, go and find 185. I think that is a good, plausible trade. Moving across, let's look at the airlines. EasyJet, just about hanging in there. They're all whacking their fares up now. British Airways, just about clinging on. And they gap filled down there. So we had a gap created from a gap up on November 2020. So we backfilled. We do look higher, but I do not invest in airlines at this moment. ASOS, as seen on screen, coming to a key level of support and threatening to bounce higher. So I think that could do 15, possibly on, if we really get some oomph behind it and some volume behind it, could do 20, but that is really struggling. ABF, a big British retailer, done extremely well, just working more and more online. So at the moment, if you're going to trade any retailer, this is a price sensitive retailer, for those who don't know ABF, because we have an American citizen in the room, and so this could close above 1634 and push into 18. I mean, it's a popular stock. It's a well-run company. It's more of all retailers out there, particularly the closed retailers. This is more likely to weather a storm and get a lift. So if you want to trade anything, that is the one. Okay, yeah, commodities are particularly obviously the in the US exchanges. They are linked very much to the dollar. Yes. So let me just clear my throat. Right. Any other retailers you want me to look at? Let's look at DFS furniture. Yeah, so they're really struggling. A lovely breakdown pattern. Great bear rating move. So it broke down here in November 21, pulled back in January, and that still could come lower. Right, I'm going to speed up now. Let's look at UK banks. We're going to look at a couple. Barclays, I'm actually still in this. So we come right back into key support. We look as if we can come into 170 again. Now this is a good environment potentially for the banks at the moment. So we could, if we can break 170, we could go back to those highs. So if you're looking to buy anything, a pullback in something like Barclays that's got a good balance sheet is an option. HSBC has had a good run. You know what? If it breaks this support, that's going to tumble. I think that could come into 550, maybe higher. But if we ever break that trend line, then that's going to tumble. Right, insurance industry has been hit. Wow. Yeah, but severely hit. Inflation has ramped up cost of claims, so the insurance industry is taking it on the chin. Let's look at some more. Let's look at direct Admiral. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. You can see 3 clear legs down here. So huge drop, pull back into that sell, huge drop, pull back into, well, it didn't actually, very shallow pullbacks here. So next stop 15 could come even lower. That's well and truly underway, so it's difficult to get into something like that. Direct line, yuck, lower. Looking aside, other parts of the finance industry, legal and general, looks all right at the moment. Right, cutting across. Let's look at energy. Let's look at Tullow. I think it's worth, I would watch this one as we get into the autumn. A big box play. So this 40 is a major support line. 65 is a major resistance. In a box play like that, it's the easiest thing to do is to just buy the bottom of the box and sell the top. At some stage, this is being an energy company, an oil company. I'm not shorting. This is the kind of stock I would buy dips in. So I think there's still plenty of time to try and bid on this one to see if we can get up to 70. But I wouldn't sit on it longer term. Oil services, PFC. That's a bit of a box play as well. That looks as if that could pick up. This one's been on a big run. Right. Let me know what you want to look at, because I'm just about to look at some US stocks in a minute. Housing, UK housing. Persimmon, big dividend player, trying to cling on, not doing much. Barrett Developments looks better, picking up on volume. That looks as if that might get above £5. Yeah, £5. Same with Taylor Woodrow, but not impressive. Yeah, it's time to look at yeah, let's look at some US. I will come to your NVIDIA. Are you still in NVIDIA?
No, I'm out. I want to get back in.
A very, very similar pattern to what we've been seeing today in UK stocks. Very popular stock. So 150 down here as held. So we look as if we could come into 187 on NVIDIA. The volumes are improving. There's a lot of resistance here at 170. Yeah, we'll look at Bank of America because they've got earnings today, haven't we? Hynex really struggling on the weekly. 3 weeks of lower closes, just trying to hold here. So this has got to pull its socks up. Yeah, look, we're in the ambush zone. Well, that bodes well for it, because if we can get above this 670, we may, over a period of weeks, get to 830. So that's if we fall out, if we come under 620, then that could continue dropping. So that's borderline. Yeah, let's look at Bank of America.
Yeah, Boeing, actually.
Oh, sorry, it's Boeing, isn't it? What am I talking about? Boeing. There's BAC for Bank of America, isn't it? Crazy. Sorry, short-term memory loss. Very similar pattern. It has attempted to recover. So a full recovery into the trend line would be 170. It's not for me, I wouldn't buy it. But it has continued to have a series of higher closes on the weekly chart. This 150, if we close above 150, we could do more. FLR, what's FLR? I want to look at BAC because they've had earnings.
Yeah, do a lot of
Come on to your FLR. Very a repeat of the chart pattern that we've seen in so many stocks we've looked at today, attempting to recover. Could go back to 36. It's trying, at the very least, it's trying. Right, FLR. Don't know this one. What do these guys do, Cecil?
Engineering, they do everything. natural gas.
Certainly having a good day today.
Yeah.
The daily chart is looking like we could do 25, 26. Got a gap fill. No, we haven't. We filled the gap. So on the COVID, we saw 260. We're now 24.20. It's high. It's relatively high relative to what we're experiencing in these markets. We're holding a trend line. We've got resistance up there at 27.28. And the volumes are not great. Concerned about the volumes. I don't have a lot to say on it because it's not majorly different. Okay, so we had this big push up here on March 7. Well, in fact, this is a really fantastic breakout here. Really sweet move on volume. The volumes are definitely improving. Yeah, so it's got, it looks as if it's got 27 written on it. If we can maintain these levels. Are you in this?
Yeah, I got some options going on. I've been in and out of it for years.
So my speaker's off. If you just type in the box, you may be trying to talk to me. Anybody got any other stocks? Let's while I'm waiting, let me just see other stocks. Path, Baba. I'm just whizzing through a few. Whoops. Right, okay. You got options there at 22.50. Okay. Well, that looks good. That's a daily chart on Baba. Not great, but there again, what is Twillo? I do like Twillo. Or do I? Twillo's all right. Doesn't really get me very enthusiastic, but it is. And the volumes are picking up. I think we can easily go back to this recent high up here, this June high. I would have thought we could attain that. So I think Twillo stands a good chance. DKNG. Ooh, I had a good move last week. Well, I mean, that's a much better daily than we're seeing so many stocks. So I would bid on 12 on that one. I would not chase that. Uber. Yeah, so okay, well, this encourages me to see stocks like this getting bid. So that looks as if that's got more oomph if we can close well today. I didn't look at MU. That's decent volume on Friday, continuing to hold up. What else have I got? Roku. Yeah, okay, so all these good quality, I take that, all these interesting growth stocks are at the moment finding some bidders and are beginning to climb higher. Volumes are definitely improved ever since middle of June. That has definitely improved. I would expect, I'd be surprised if Roku doesn't at least get to 107, 110. It looks if it's got something. Right, that's it. I'll keep you posted. I'll send you a recording in case you missed the beginning when I'm talking about dollar indices, potential moves in the NASDAQ, etc. So just to sum up, I am still short term in the UK, or as in the US. I'm still bear rating the weak sectors like bricks and mortar retailers and retailers in general. You know, no reason why you shouldn't short some of the online guys as well. I am cautious about some of the energy stocks. I've even looked at miners before we go and just look at miners. UK and US. Pan-African, let's pull right back. So I'm taking a bit of heat on this. I got in this at about 1920p. That's got it all to do there. Ooh. Right, that looks good. CDE, the US silver miner looks good. US silver miner, gold miner HL improving. I think all these, I would definitely bid at 377 on that one. Right, so I'm just short term. I'm okay on. I would be buying anything to do with energy. I am into miners. I am in banking, shorting bricks and mortar retail, and buying commodities, buying dips in commodities. All right, stay safe, be careful. Like I said, we've got to get the Fed out of the way and then see if, at the moment, this recent dip is getting bought and these stocks are looking healthier. Just a question of how far they can go and if it's sustainable. Thanks, everybody. Have fun.